Felli.
Cheers, brother.
Salute to being a good father.
Man.
Salute to all the great dads out there. Happy Father's Day. Shout out to Hennessy.
Cheers,
Salute.
my brother.
Salute.
Nothing like the feeling of being a good dad, and nothing like an ice cold Hennessy.
Absolutely.
First of all, I want to start by just addressing what a great dad you are, because I knew you when you weren't a dad.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's been a long time.
And to a certain degree, you knew me when I wasn't a dad with one of my kids.
That's right.
Vinny has been a great friend of mine because he was there when I found out about my daughter, and him and his beautiful wife actually helped me through that process because I didn't meet my daughter until she was 13 years old, and it was an emotional experience, and it was a life changer for me. And my son James. So, it's been a very interesting and rewarding process for me as a dad.
Yes.
And being in hip hop, my kids have seen me for some years now, on the go, traveling, DJing. They've actually gone on the road with me to Australia and multiple places around the world, and so they've grown up with a hip hop dad, and I know it's been the same for you.
Yeah, and that's what's great about even social media nowadays, and seeing all these fathers in hip hop, how they interact with their children. I don't know if you've seen like Will Smith and his Instagram
trolling Jaden.
Yeah, I love that. I love the relationship that these fathers have with their kids, and I love being able to experience it through social media. And hey, even if social media makes you be that much of a better dad, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, Will Smith is a perfect example of that. He's a great father. I remember back in the day when he had the video for his firstborn son, just the two of us.
That's right.
And it's a great thing to see him just interact with his kids and being a father to his kids.
And taking it to the new school a little bit, somebody like Travis Scott, who was probably influenced by Will Smith. I mean, we were all influenced by Will.
Yeah.
In one way or another. Which, by the way, seeing him on Instagram now, and again, everything that he does and how he involves his kids with almost everything in his life is amazing. But Travis Scott, taking it to the new school, talks about how he's become a more responsible person thanks to Stormy being in his life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that I would go as far as to say I'm a responsible person, but my kids have definitely. I can understand where he's coming from, because it changes you.
Yeah.
It makes you think about things that normally you wouldn't, normally think about, especially being hip hop guys like ourselves. We've seen some pretty cutting edge things growing up, and it slows you down a little bit and makes you think a little bit as a parent.
Yeah. But that's what's cool. Like Travis Scott, he's a new father, so we're able to experience, Will Smith. He's a veteran in the game. He's a veteran father. He's got older kids, but it's kind of cool to see the younger generation being fathers to their kids, being involved in their lives. And that shout to Hennessy for shining the light on all these great dads in hip hop, especially.
And I want to shout out our brother DJ Khaled, because
great dad.
Well, and when you you put your son on, you name your album after your son,
right?
That's really amazing.
That's another level.
Yeah. We were joking earlier about thanks, Khaled. Now we got to live up to now my son wants an album with his face on it. Thanks a lot, Khaled. How come I couldn't have that, Dad? You know what I'm saying? And it bought his son I think it was a Rolex,
man,
or a Gucci watch. I think it was a Rolex. Brought his son a watch, and has just really taken his son and placed him right smack dab in the middle of hip hop.
Father of Assad, what I mean?
Got
the name and the title of the album, and it's just a great, Khaled again. I'm all for. He's just a positive dude. He's a positive. His energy is all positive, and now you could see it's almost like his energy has been transferred to his son too. You can see like the love and the care that he has for his son, and just the just very family orientated, and just involving your son at that young of an age is a beautiful thing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that and I'm thinking to myself, damn, did I do it wrong? Because I know I have my son involved. You know, he would mess with the turntables and he would sit in the studio with me, and you know, I'd show him, you know, the keys and how to, you know, hit the beats on the beat machines and stuff like that. And eventually he got a laptop and started. Yeah. But I saw the Khaled, you know, put his son on made an album basically for and with his son.
It's just on a whole nother level, you know, and everybody has their, you know, organically, you know, you figure out how to be the dad that you want to be. You know, you try to learn from your past. That's another thing, you know, switching it from hip hop to sports. That's a big thing that I really admire about LeBron James. You know, LeBron didn't have a father growing up, but yet he still, you know, he knew one day when he would be a father that what kind of father he would be, and I could kind of understand that. Well, I'm seeing him coach his son, and you know, and that sort of thing. And one of the most gratifying things that I've done recently is I coached my daughter's softball team.
I know you did,
and you sponsored that team. I appreciate it. Shout out to the Wolfpack. We came in second place, but you know, at the end of the day, I felt like we bonded more as my daughter's father. I bonded more closer to her because of the love of sport, for the love of the game, and it could have went either way. I thought like maybe if I was her coach, maybe she would be like not listening to me as much, but you know what? It made us closer. And shout out to all the dads that are actually going the extra step and, you know, being more involved in their kids' lives, coaching their teams, trying to coach them on and off the field and just in life in general. It's a really gratifying thing, and it's one of the things that I've actually cherished as a father. You know what I mean?
No, it's true, and you can tell so much about your kids or anybody for that matter, you know, playing sports. And we talked about this, how, you know, you get on the court with somebody, you're like, yeah, you can see their character, and in some cases you can help, you know, when you notice something, build someone's character when you're on the court. And like you said, Bron being out in Vegas, you know, helping coach Bronny's team is amazing. And just I also want to touch a little bit about just how hip hop has, you know, touched me and helped me as a father.
Talk about it.
Even with just the lyrics in a lot of songs, because you know, I think that a lot of MCs that have a lot to talk about because they've been through a lot.
Yep.
Sometimes that may mean you know, growing up with a single mom raising them, and having a lot of things that they want to put out and say in a song. And I learned a lot from that. You know, I learned a lot what not to do.
Well, Pac, that one, that Papa's song for Pac, where he didn't grow up with a father, yet, you know, he kind of put the pen to the paper and was like, basically poured his heart out, and a lot of people could relate to that. And you know, with those songs and those hip hop artists, you know, we learn from that, and you know, we want to do better and strive to do better as fathers and as men. You know what I mean?
That's right. And then, you know, seeing somebody, again, I said taking it to the newer school, seeing somebody like Wiz Khalifa and what he's done, you know, as a father, and just involving his kids. And, you know, I'm sure Wiz, like us, you know, grew up on some of the same hip hop artists that we do. You hear it in his lyrics, you see it in him as a dad. And it's a trip because, you know, I think a lot of people think that, you know, they see hip hop sometimes in a negative light, and they see, you know, artists tatted up and certain lyrics in the songs, but that's just a way of expression. And you know, for me, growing up, seeing that again has helped me be a better dad.
Absolutely.
You know, I actually owe a lot of my life to hip hop, and being a father. You know, hip hop taught me a lot with life and how to be a better father. It's influenced me so much.
One of my favorite songs, not just because I have two daughters, is Nas's Daughters, where the song where he writes to his daughter Destiny, and he's, you know, he talks about just the insecurities he has as a father, you know, being anxious about her growing up and maybe finding you know, having boyfriends and that sort of thing. So that really the honesty that hip hop has brought to the table having a father or not having a father has definitely, I think we've all grown up and learned from it. And like Nas's daughters really strikes a chord with me because I have two little girls. You know what I mean?
And speaking of daughters, you know, females, I want to shout out all the ladies out there who have been fill-in dads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, for the daughter, for the women who have had to act as a dad because maybe the father wasn't there because they passed earlier or something. There's women out there who deserve the father right as well.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So cheers to you guys. Cheers to all the dads. You know what I'm saying? Cheers to especially the dads in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Keep holding it down. Salute to you again, brother.
Felli.
Thanks
Happy
to our
Father's
family
Day.
at Hennessy. Happy Father's Day to everybody, guys.
Good dad gang for life.
Yeah.